To current affairs classes. So in this current affairs classes we are going to discuss about the TB and the global health diplomacy that India is pursuing with respect to the health sector. So let's get into the detailed discussion of the collective online classes. So let's analyze why this is in news. Because India is targeted to eradicate TB by 2025, which is much before the target of the World Health Organization. So India is trying to become the first country to eradicate this TB. So this news or this topic is related in the GS2 paper of the civil service, which is issues related to development and management of the social sector services relating to health, education and the human resource. So this is important with respect to the health sector. So let's get into the detailed discussion. So here let's analyze what is the importance of this health diplomacy. So we have heard this term diplomacy with respect to many other aspects, which includes the military partnership, then trade, then investment and other kinds of strategic partnerships with other countries. But in recent times, the health has found its way into this inter-diplomacy or diplomacy among the countries. So, in today's interconnected world, a nation's health is no longer an internal matter because the disease doesn't have any frontier or any border. It can cross any border and can reach out to any nations. So, this century's outbreaks such as Ebola, Zika, and SARS are jolting the reminders of the common threat that transcend the boundaries. So, let's analyze that the importance of the health diplomacy. So, here the health has recently found its way into diplomacy and foreign policy in many countries, and this is evident from the agenda of this year's G8 countries and the G20 summits. So let's analyze few of India's achievements with respect to the TB and the health diplomacy. So the Indian government has recently demonstrated or has taken a few two important steps with respect to the health sector, that is to improve the health security of the citizens with two bold announcements. So the first one includes or the first one is the aggressive to resolve the or to end the tuberculosis by 2025, which is 10 years ahead of the World Health Organization's goal. Also, India has recently announced the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, which is the world's largest government sponsored health insurance scheme. So this can be considered as India's step towards achieving universal health care. And further, the impact of the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana's performance will largely be contained within India, affecting its internal politics and the economics. That of eradicating TB will factor heavily into India's image in the international sphere, and it will influence or it will increase the influencing power of India in the global health diplomacy network. Then further, this year has seen an Indian clinical cum TB activist inducted into World Health Organization's top management team, and it is considered as a recognition to India's effort and achievement. So now let's discuss about few of the concerns, challenges, etc. that is remaining in the path of India achieving its global or achieving its targets. So India's precarious position in the world with the highest TB burden is a challenge. So in order to achieve eradicating the TB target, India has to get rid of or India has to provide a cure to this largest or the highest TB patients. And the TB is an airborne disease which can be spread easily. So with approximately 300 TB patients per 1 lakh Indians, the very process of breathing put one at a risk acquiring the disease in lungs, spine, brain or any other organ. So here this point is also relevant for your prelims examination, that is the TB is impacting or TB is affecting the lungs, spine and the brain. Then further, India has run up to 2025 deadline requires TB transmission to be declined at a rate of 15 to 20% per annum. But India is far behind this target. So at present, this seems difficult. Even though tests and treatments are available for free across all public health centers and patients can claim a nutrition incentive of Rs 500 per month until fully cured, the current decline rate of TB in India is varying 1 to 2%. So we have already discussed that India has to achieve a 15 to 20% of the decline rate in order to fulfill its targets. And further, what is even more worrisome is that half of the estimated patients are either unaware and they are spreading this TB into others, and these are unreported in the government's e-registry for TB, that is NICSHI. So you can get further details and the prelims point of view about this NICSHI from our daily current affairs notes, which we have shared in the website and also in our Telegram channel. Then further, more than 1 million hidden carriers of active infections live among us, so presenting a covert threat. So this is leading to further spread of the disease into the non-infected persons also. Then the infected patients infect others in a community while undiagnosed. The TB transmission cannot be ended until they are cured. Then finding them is the biggest roadblock for the End TB mission and rate limiting one. Further, the doctor-initiated passive approach of case detection has proven to be more daunting than clearing a minefield. So, in order to achieve this goals of eradicating the TB, India has to strengthen its healthcare and allied sectors also. Then the private healthcare providers are the first contact point for more than half of India's population. About 50 to 55% of the private practitioners are doctors by experience and not by degree. So because of this, the healthcare service and its quality are under threat. So this is where the search and treat strategy for TB is falling through the cracks. Then the early symptoms of the TB are non-specific, and as we have said earlier, the doctors are only doctors just because of their practice and not by their degree, and they fail to diagnose this TB. And the early symptoms of this TB is non-specific, and it is quite similar to more commonly occurring conditions, and such as secondary infections resulting from a seasonal flu. And what happens is that the private practitioners are treating this as a seasonal flu, and thereby the TB patients become undiagnosed and they further spread this disease into others. Thus, private practitioners rule out other ailments through antibiotic treatment before ordering this TB tablet. And this delayed TB diagnosis is the biggest risk factor for the transmission, as it is transmitted through the air and can contaminate the air and can be transmitted into others. And the non-specific antibiotic course, it should be noted, multiply risk manifold and causing the infection to become antibiotic resistant. So already we are facing the challenges from the XDR and the multi-drug resistant TB, and this is also becoming a challenge. So it is very difficult to treat this multi-drug resistant TB, which is resistant to most of the drugs presently available in the market, and this can also be transmitted into other persons. In such cases, achieving these challenges of TB eradication will become a difficult task for India. And another widely prevalent behavior in the private sector is hesitation to notify and refer their TB patient to public health facilities despite cash incentives. then fear of permanently losing these clients and the revenue to the public sector is the biggest reason for this non-compliance. This is also leading to the lack of coverage. So let's analyze the way forward in order to achieve this target. So with the realization of the challenge, government's long-standing revised national TB control program has now initiated an active case-finding campaign in selected population segments, especially those who are socially, clinically, occupationally are more vulnerable than others. So this includes old age persons and those infected with AIDS or HIV, etc. Further, eradicating polio was an important step, but becoming the first nation to eradicate the TB will be a giant leap for India. It will further raise India's image in the health diplomacy and the health service. So this can lead to export of the health service and which can lead to foreign money. So with this we are coming to the conclusion of this daily news analysis. So we are also providing you the daily current affairs notes which we can access from our website or from our Telegram channel, and also we are providing the notes of this video classes which also you can access from the website or from our Telegram channel, and the video analysis is shared in the YouTube and our web platform, so you can access them from both this